So we are live now with Comrade King from Russia, and today we will continue our discussion because it is our second conversation. Today I would like to ask you something about the communist parties in Russia. What do you think about these parties? And could you firstly present all these parties, the bigger one, Communist Party of the Russian Federation, and also the smaller one? So I am listening to you.
All right, so there are a lot of communist parties in Russia. I'll just start with the KPRF. Well, the KPRF is a very complicated party. It has a lot of factions. Uh, have you heard of Rashkin?
Uh, could you repeat? Parashkin?
Rashkin, yes.
No, I didn't heard about him. I heard
Well,
about Zyuganov. I heard about the leader of Lewej Front, который был в тюрьме. Удальцов. Удальцов, но он не с КПРФ. I heard about Грудинин, который был кандидат на президента России. And it's all what I know about Russian communist movement today.
well, Rashkin basically is the leader of the liberal faction inside the Communist Party of the Russian Federation. He's very controversial because of that, because he's basically a social democrat and he supports Navalny. And there was a congress not long ago in the KPRF. I was hoping that they would kick him out, but they did not. Like, I was very surprised that they kept him in the party. Well, we just have to deal with him, I guess. Now, there is not much we can do, at least on the Zyuganov right now. Well, then there are other factions inside the party as well. We have what I call the old faction. Basically, the old faction. They're, as far as I know, Marxists. Well, yeah, they're Marxists, and they basically want to keep the party independent. You know, there is another faction, the separatist faction. Basically, there is a faction in the party that wants to unite with another party, Fair Russia, to win in the election this year and beyond. In the legislative election in Russia, the separatist faction, yeah, is socialist, and yeah, I think that I support that faction because I want United Russia gone, and I believe that they're the best in doing this. A united opposition, you could say, against United Russia. Well, and then there is there's other factions as well. You have lots of small factions like uh, there is the Trotskyist faction inside the party, a very small one, and others. All right. Do you have any questions so far about the KPRF? Also, I'd like to say that they will collapse very soon. I believe that there are two possible paths that the KPRF could follow. Either they'll split into three or four parties. Basically, I think that one party will become led by Rashkin. It will become a liberal party. The other party the other faction will join Fair Russia, and the other will become an independent, Marxist, Zyuganovite faction. It will just continue be the KPRF as it is.
Okay, maybe my first question is, yesterday I speak with Konstantin Siomin, and when I asked him about Russian communist movement, she he said that in his point of view, the Communist Party in Russia don't exist. He doesn't think that Communist Party of Russian Federation is Communist Party. For him, it is Opportunist Party. So my first question for you: do you think that it is Communist Party?
I'd say it's a pan-socialist coalition. It has some liberals, as I said, there is Rushkin and all that. But I think that this is a minority inside the party, and that the vast majority of the party is still Marxist. Also, you mentioned Grudinin. He's also a social democrat, by the way. He was financed by the bourgeoisie in the 2018 election.
And Grudinin, he made workers co-ops in kolkhoz, which produce strawberries. Yes,
Yes, he, if I'm not mistaken, has some sort of agricultural business. It,
yes,
it's
yes.
not, it's
But
not really, it's not really capitalist, that business.
that it is property of the Communist Party. I heard
Yes.
the Communist Party produces strawberries, red strawberries. But okay, so for you, Communist Party of Russian Federation, it is coalition of the socialist group, and in this coalition there are also true communists, yes.
Yes, I'd say so.
And Zyuganov, in your point of view, he is true communist or not?
Well, it depends. He's a reformist. He doesn't want a revolution. So it depends. Technically, this is anti-Marxist, but I'd still say that he's at least a socialist.
Okay, so could you give a name or the name of fraction where there are these true communists in KPRF?
Well, there is Yuri Afonin. I'd say that
Yuri,
this is a true.
Yuri
Yeah,
Afonin,
Yuri.
yes?
Yeah, that's his name. I think that this is a true, at least socialist faction, a true communist faction. I'd say so. I think.
Э, да, ему 40, ему 44 years. It's him?
44 года, да.
Да, 44 года. Ну, я его нашел, да, я буду хочет с ним поговорить. Окей, Юрий Афонин. И что ж, и why you think that he is a true communist? What is his position? Is there something which he is not agree with Zyuganov or other people in the party?
Well, according to news media, he is generally referred to as part of the more Marxist faction inside the party.
Yes, but what is he? I think I see that he is a member of Duma, the member of parliament, Russian. But what is he doing? His speech? His speech was very radical. I try to understand. It is only your point of view that he is communist, or he made something to, I don't know. He tried to organize workers. He wants to make a revolution. He published Marxist books, or what is he doing?
Well, he's fighting the liberal faction inside the party and Tarashkin.
Okay. Okay, so it is the Russian the biggest part of the Russian communist movement is the Communist Party of the Russian Federation. In your point of view, it is the coalition of the socialist coalition. And is there any other organization, communist organization in Russia? Could you give their name, their leaders, or their position politic? I heard.
Sure.
I heard. Could you start to talk about Sergei Udaltsov?
Sergei Udaltsov.
Да, oui. Yes, I think he was
Yeah, I
in
remember.
prison.
Yeah, I remember watching a video that he posted once. I know of him, and he's a Marxist, I'd say. Though, if I'm not mistaken, he kind of wants to cooperate with. He supports the protests right now that are going on in Russia, which are basically kind of supporting Navalny.
Ah,
But he
Udalцov he
himself
support
doesn't support
Navalny.
him.
Okay, okay.
I
But
won't say so, but he supports the protests.
okay. And what is the difference between the position of Udalcov and his party? It is left front, yes?
Yeah, Russian United Labor Front. Yes.
Russian United Labor Front. And what is the difference between Russian United Labor Front and the Communist Party of Russian Federation?
Well, I'd say that the Russian United Labor Front, I'd say that it is less divided, far less divided, and I'd say it's generally more Marxist.
More Marxist, yes?
Yeah, I'd say so because they uh, they even cooperated with the communists of Russia before.
Okay. And there are other political groups. I heard about the Рабочая партия. I think that this is Trotsky's organization or something like this. Did you heard about them?
Yes, I've heard of them. I used to know a guy once who supported the party. Uh, it's a Trotskyist organization. They don't like Stalin.
They don't like Stalin, and they are weak in Russia, or they are
Yeah,
strong.
well, in Russia, Trotskyism in general, you know, isn't that popular. I mean, it's more popular than the Maoism. Like, it has more support than Maoism, but it's still not as big as, for example, if it's not as big as normal Marxism, Leninism, and supporting Stalin, or even Dangism. It's weaker than that. I'd say it's one of the weakest organizations out of the Marxist ones.
Okay, so we have three organizations. Is there any other? What can you say about? I don't know. Is this party still exists? But there was a party created by Eduard Limonov.
Oh
Uh,
yes, yes.
could you say something about them? For you, it is part left party or it is fascist party?
I'd say it's a Marxist party. It's not a fascist party, but the weird thing about it is that it has it has cooperated with some liberals. Have you heard of Garry Kasparov?
Garry Kasparov, the chess player.
Yes, he has a liberal party, and he has cooperated with the national Bolsheviks in Russia.
And I think that Kasparov he wanted to be a president of Russia. It's true.
Yes.
Okay, so it is strange because I all things which I heard about this party of Eduard Limonov, it is that they are fascist. They are communists who wanted to melange fascism with communism in the base that they hate the liberalism. And you said that they collaborate with liberals. So,
I would not call them neo-fascists. They want to expand Russia's land, and they reject internationalism as well. They want to build communism in one country, but they are not racist or something like that. And they don't like the National Bolshevik Party. It
yes.
was banned in 2007. It was replaced by another party called the Other Russia, Другая Россия.
Ah,
If you
so
didn't know, by the way, that party, the Other Russia, it fights in Donbass. They formed their own little militia group that consists of like 200 people or so.
oh, I didn't hear about this. But it is not that this Drugaya Rasija, it is coalition of the liberals, and it was the coalition in 2020, 12. It is maybe I'm mistaken, but it is not the name of the party, but it is the coalition who wanted to fight against Putin in 2012.
Yeah, they were originally pro-Putin, but like after 2014, after like everything that happened with Crimea and Donbass, they started supporting Putin. At least Edward Limonov did.
And they started to support Putin, yes?
Yes, Limonov did later.
Mhm. Okay, so it is four leftist organization. Is there any other organization in Russia which you can name the communist, leftist?
Well, there is the communists of Russia. They're they are kind of crazy. They basically reject anything anti-Stalin, any small criticism. They just call everything against Stalin Western propaganda, and I don't think that this is a correct ap- approach to the question. Um, and they also hate post-Stalin USSR. They are a small party. Well, not that small. They're like the second biggest communist party in Russia. But yeah, they're still, I'd say, very Marxist. Many see them as an alternative to the KPRF, a more Marxist alternative, a non-reformist alternative.
Could you repeat the name of this organization?
Communists of Russia, Коммунисты
Ako,
России.
Коммунисты России. Okay, I didn't heard about them, but also uh, could you give a name of, or maybe I will try to find in internet, name of the leader of this party or something like this?
Максим Сурайкин.
Maxim Maxim Suraikin. Yes, I found this. Uh, is a Russian politician who has been the leader of political party Communist Russia since 2012. Okay, and this is Communist Russia.
They received like 0.7% of the vote in 2018.
Yes, yes, 0.68
Yeah.
is written in Wikipedia. Okay, could you say something about the YouTube channel in the Russian language? For example, what do you think about the Boris Kagarlitsky YouTube channel Rapcore?
Can you repeat?
What do you think about Boris Kagarlitsky YouTube channel Rapcore?
Well, you see, I've seen this channel before. Many people talk about him. I'm not really interested in YouTubers, leftist YouTubers. I'm more interested in Russian lecturers like Andrei Fursov. I think that Fursov has a very good analysis of the world, and I watch pretty much every lecture by him. He's a
And
professional.
Andier Fursov?
Yeah, Fursov.
Uh, he he is bald.
Yes, he's bold. He's my
He
favorite. He's my favorite socialist, like Furist right now. I say that he's even better than Zizek and yeah, basically everyone else. Better than Paul Cockshot even.
okay. Did you heard about the guy which name is Kurginian? И организация Сути времени.
Gurginian, I think I've heard of the name. Could you elaborate something about him?
Mm, mm, not really. He have uh, it's you specialist from Russia. I saw him in the television, in Russian television. He was very often invited by this guy, very celebrity, very famous guy in Russian television. What is the name of the most famous guy in Russian television? Uh,
You mean that
Такой,
guy who?
he organized debate. Uh,
You mean you mean the guy? There were who there is a TV show that where interviewers debate and stuff like that. And politicians like Zhirinovsky and Sobchak. Do you mean that one?
yes. It's him. It's this.
Yeah, I
Mm,
remember. I know who you're talking about.
Uh, and you don't know his name? So Kurginian also is there, and he defended the Soviet Union, and he's old, but he and um, I you, in my opinion, you don't know many about the Russian left, or maybe it is me that I only find some people, and because in the time that I wanted to have contact with Russian language, I only listening these people. Maybe they are very minoritarian and nobody care about them in Russia, but I
Well,
thought that.
people, at least leftists, care about them, but I don't really care about these, people because I like watching more lectures by more professionals, and I'm more interested in the big parties like the KPRF and Fair Russia mainly. The Fair Russia, I think, is a left-wing party. They want to unite with KPRF. Have you heard of them?
Sprawiedliwa Rosja, yes?
Yes.
I heard that it was the split made by Putin, who wanted to destroy the KPRF.
I think you're
Uh,
talking about Rodina.
Может быть. Что был такой человек, there was a guy, oh, I forget this name, but 10 years ago he was He presents to the presidential elections, and he was against Zyuganov.
You mean Mironov?
Mironov, może. Yes, yes. He have a barb.
Yes,
Uh,
that's Mironov. Or
Mironov,
are
yeah.
you sure you aren't confusing him with Alexei Zhurailov?
I don't know. I have my research in Russian politics many years ago, and now I
You
am totally
you
so
can
so
you can
I
look them up. You can look them up if you want. So you can tell me if it's Zhurailov or Mironov.
Mironov, what is his name?
Sergei Mironov.
Sergey.
I think that he will end the rule of United Russia.
Yes, yes, yes. I Я уже видел Сергей Миронов там в дебате in television.
И как он тебе?
Ah, it's I can't say because it was many years ago, and also if I want to have opinion, I have to knew something more that I see somebody in television. So I um, in you see, I think that I am agree with Konstantin Siomin, who said that in Russia there is not communist party, but in all these first May demonstrations, in the anniversary of the October Revolution, I see videos from Russia, pictures from Russia when there are big demonstrations, there are red flag, many parties. So I want to know something about them. Who are the people who organized the big demonstration to commemorate the October Revolution? But it's not that I want to be a member of this party. No, I want only know what is this party, what is the political position, and maybe is there possibility to build the relationship, is there something which we have in common, because um, for me the most important is the internationalism. I think that there are many communists in Russia who are, they said that they are communists, but they are also nationalists. They support, they they for them the communist, it is the time when Soviet Union was very powerful, and it is something that they are not communists because they want to make class struggle and the struggle against the Russian bourgeoisie. No. They want only to make a struggle against the bourgeoisie from United States and Western Europe. But I want to try to find the people who are true internationalists, true Marxists, and maybe in the future build the relationships, new international, something like this. So I profit the situation that you are from Russia, and maybe you will help me to find people in Russia to collaborate.
I have a question. Why don't you think that the KPRF are communists?
Uh,
They're
because
reformists, but other than that, I'd say they're fine. That's the only bad thing, I'd say. Plus, the fact that they have a liberal faction inside the party.
no, for me the most important is the collaboration with Russian government. If I could understand, the Communist Party they collaborate with Jedinaya Россия and with President Putin, and the government of Russia today, it is government who made the politic which supports the oligarchy in Russia. That Russia today is the most oligarchic state in the world, one of them. That the politic of there are big difference between the the situation of the working class and the poor people in Russia. And in one hand we have many people very poor, and in the second hand we have people very powerful, all these Russian oligarchs. And I can accept situation that somebody who calls themselves that he is communist, he collaborate with the party who which made this system possible. I um, I can imagine situation that the Communist Party collaborate with the government of reformists. For example, in Venezuela or in Bolivia, where in Bolivia you have the government of the uh, movement towards socialism. They are not communist, but they are radical reformist. And if exists communist party in Bolivia, they can support government like this, who wants to nationalize the property of the corporations and stuff like this. But Putin, he in the internal politic of the Russia, he continue all this capitalist system which was built in the time of counter-revolution, in the time of Yeltsin. He didn't expropriate the Russian oligarch. He didn't take this oligarch to prison. He didn't take this all this wealth which they possess. They have. So the collaboration with the I am, for me, communist, it is the hatred against bourgeoisie, hatred against rich, and for KPRF it is something different, I think.
All right. I want to first say the cooperative did become more soft towards Putin in the last few years. They used to be anti-Putin back in the 2000s and early 2010s, but after the 2012 Russian presidential election, they became more pro-Putin. But honestly, I don't really see a problem because Putin has done a lot of good things. He has nationalized a lot of industries since the year 2007. Now 70% of the Russian economy is state owned. And if you look at statistics, you'll see that all or nearly all large enterprises are nationalized now. So I don't really see the problem. And the poor people, they have decreased as well. There are now way more, wealthier people, way bigger middle class than before. In 1999, under Yeltsin, 70% of the population lived in poverty or was at risk of poverty, and now only 37% are like that. And in like 2001, there were 3 or 4 million extreme poor people, and now there are none. Nobody lives under $1.90 anymore. I think that those are pretty great achievements that Putin has made in his presidency.
I I heard other stories about Russia. I heard that there are many people very poor who died very early. That the workers in Russia, they don't live 60 years. They died before this. and in the same time the government wanted to make longer the time when you work and go to pension. And maybe Yeltsin was worse than Putin, but I can say, for me it is impossible to say that politic economic politic of Putin it is pro workers, that it is leftist politic. I think that it is uh, somebody who don't want to expropriate the oligarch. He is not leftist for me.
I mentioned Forostov right before. He's very famous in Russia, a very famous socialist professor. Remember, I mentioned him. He said
Yes.
not long ago that the ruling stratum in Russia are not the oligarchs, not the capitalists, uh, because their capital, their m- средства, their средства become capital not in Russia but over the borders. That they are, the capitals in Russia are comprador capitalists.
Yes, but they are still capitalist. For me, it is big difference between the Russia and China. Then China made a lot of things which are good for the Chinese workers. For example, all these politics to planification, the building the cities, building the houses, building the factories. When the workers emigrated from the western poor regions of China to the new cities, everything is waiting for them, work and good houses. In Russia we have free market of everything, that for renting a house is very expensive, and we have all these problems which exist in the capitalism. And but give me your arguments to say why you think that it is not extreme capitalism for you. I want to know your arguments.
Well, Putin has taken the political influence away of the bourgeoisie in Russia, and Fursov himself said that they're not the ruling stratum anymore. I'd say that he also nationalized the economy a lot. So this is also is showing that it's not really extreme capitalism. You know there it was still there's still a bourgeoisie in China as well, and there was even in China in the 1950s a bourgeoisie, but um, I think that eventually maybe someday, maybe in 20 years or so, they could be getting rid of. Um, he also did a lot to, improve the situation. I do think that architecture and housing is a very big problem in Russia. In villages, for example, the houses burn often uh, because they're old and out of wood, the houses in villages. But he's modernizing the houses a lot. Half of them is already modernized, and I think that this is how a good step forward, including eliminating extreme poverty like China did, and many other things. Putin wants to get poverty to 5% in by 2024, and if he does that, I think that this will be a very great achievement.
Okay, so for you, Putin, it is somebody who we can define that he is what, social democrat, economic
Well,
political.
it's hard to say, but I think there's one thing for sure. I think that he is not imperialist, and that he resists the imperialism of other countries, like the U.S., and helps other anti-imperialist countries.
Mm, okay, okay. I don't. In Poland, everybody attacked Putin all the time, so I don't want to continue this because firstly, I am against Polish propaganda and Polish government. So. Uh, could you say something more about the what is your position towards this protest to solidarity with Navalny? I am not talking about Navalny himself, but I am talking about the young people who are fighting with police, who were arrested, and why they demonstrate. They do you think that they demonstrate only because one liberal fascist Navalny is arrested, or there is something other that they are going to the street and protest?
Well, you see, the thing is with like people, like young people born in the 90s and the early 21st century in Russia, is that they did not really experience, perestroika and Yeltsin's economic reforms and all that to the full extent. So they think that it would be better if Russia would join the EU and stuff like that. That Russia would come closer to America, to Europe. They think they support that. And I know I'm gonna tell you now. Russia is not Germany. Like, it's not economically perfect, and people don't like that. But I still think that it has massively improved. In the last 20 years. Whereas people born, very young people born in the 90s and stuff like that, they think that Russia has been stagnating since, that Russia is still in the 80s, that Putin did not bring Russia out of it. And they also think that Putin is corrupt. Uh, did you ever watch Navalny's channel?
Yes, I in recent days I watch many stuff in Russian. I think that I didn't watch Navalny's channel. No, I watched one thing in Navalny channel when he speak that he have approved that his
Дворец
poisoning.
Путина? Oh, okay, go on.
Да, да, я хотів, I would like to see this, but I saw other things. But I saw that also about this palace of Putin. But I saw that interview Navalny and his wife with a guy Yuri Dutz. Or I watched only 1 hour because it was very boring. Yuri Yuri does all the time. Navalny, he repeated the same phrase that he
Yes,
was.
yes, I think that Navalny is not, he's not really a fun politician. I think that even liberals should understand this, and uh, far right extremists and all that. I think that they should understand that he's not really a good politician. He's a boring politician. I watched some of his videos, and he basically just repeated the same phrase a lot. Like I remember watching a video by him where he was basically showing some proof of corruption or something like that, and he randomly, for no reason, just said then that Putin and United Russia are crooks and thieves for no reason, out of no context. It's like a slogan, a useless slogan. I think that there will be, even for liberals, a different guy, a better guy than him and other people.
No, I think that he's courageous, and he have he's handsome, and he have many things which are important today for the politician in the time of the social media. So I don't want to discredit that he's totally stupid and not danger. But I couldn't watch this interview 2 hours when all the time he 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 was speaking that Putin wanted to kill me. Putin wanted to kill me. I think that if Putin want to kill him, he will did it, and it was easy to
Have
to
you heard of the Novichok case?
yes, he it was 1 hour he speak about Novichok. I think that Novichok is something that if you drink this, you died. You can't.
Yes, yes. There have been tests made, and according to the tests, you have a 100% chance of dying from it. So I don't think that he was poisoned by Novichok. This is impossible. If he wasn't, he would be dead by now.
Yes. But all the time he used this name, Novichok. No, it's Novichok. It is something that if you are, if you have crashed with the train which are going 300 kilometers per hour, you don't have any chance for living because you are totally crushed. And Novichok is something like this. But he wanted to show that he's I don't know, he's strong. His body is strong because he's like Superman, that he was poisoned by Putin, but he survived.
Yeah, well, he does. Yeah, like I've seen many videos where he was attacked by other people with Zelenka, for example, and other things. Uh, I think that he does have some courage, but as a whole, I don't think that he is like a good politician, even for liberals and others. Um,
No,
you
because
know,
he's not liberal. He's fascist. I heard that
yes, I agree with you. He is a far right extremist. Even
yes.
even not long ago, have you heard that he called World War II veterans traitors?
No, I didn't heard this, but I heard that he hated the migrant workers from Caucasus, and I am also migrant worker from Poland, but I have solidarity with all migrant workers because migrant worker is somebody who have to work harder than other workers. This life is very tough for the migrants, and I am one of them. So when somebody attacked migrant workers, I hate him, and it is the case of Navalny. But my question was not about Navalny, because I think that everybody
Okay,
in the
okay.
Russian left are agree that Navalny is somebody who is not from left. But in this demonstration, I watched some videos, and they are young people. Young people. I think that many of them, this is the people who work in the very low wages. They are workers. So why the people who are in the bottom of the capitalist system, why they support Navalny? It is something which I try to understand.
Well, I explained it to you already. Many young
Yes.
people, yeah, they you see, the situation in Russia is not perfect, as I told you. It's not Germany. There are very high prices for food, for example, and life is not perfect. It's kind of hard. But these people, because of that, want to join the EU and stuff like that. Uh, they believe that this is how the solution to the problems in Russia, and I think that this is and I believe that they think so because they didn't fully live through the 90s and perestroika. I believe that if they would live through that completely, I think that they would actually support Putin. I think if they felt the effects of that completely.
Okay, and what do you think about Lukashenko and the protest which was taking place in the August and September in Belarus?
Well, I support Lukashenko. I believe that he's a very great leader. Um, the streets in Belarus are very clean, and it's kind of very Soviet Belarus, right? Even today, because of Lukashenko, and in many ways, Belarus, thanks to Lukashenko, has avoided many of the hardships that the other USSR republics endured during the 90s. Um, and I believe that he's great. He resists U.S. imperialism and is in general a great leader. Whereas the opposition consists of CIA financed people. And I remember reading an article like 5 months ago that these people, the opposition, uh, many of them are even far right extremists, and many of them are paid to protest. There are indeed many people in Belarus who don't like Lukashenko, the younger people, to be specific, and many people there are turning libertarians because of that. In Russia, a lot are as well, but not as many as in Belarus. And I believe that um, I believe that this is kind of happening at the same time because the U.S. is trying to destroy both Belarus and Russia and Kyrgyzstan right now. It's not a coincidence that there are protests in both countries.
Could you say something more about the protest in Kyrgyzstan? Because I didn't hear about this protest.
Well, basically, the pro-Russian president was removed in Kyrgyzstan, and now they have a new president, and soon they will have a parliamentary election in like June. I have to check later again. They changed the date, but yeah, their government was couped basically.
Okay, and what do you think about the People's Republic in eastern Ukraine, the Donbass and Donetsk and Lugansk?
I believe that they are great. I believe that. They firstly resist neo-fascists in Ukraine, like Azov Battalion and Right Sector. So this is very courageous and a great act by them. And secondly, they resist the U.S. coup. Are you good with the situation in Ukraine since 2013?
Yes, yes. It is one of the reason which I try to all the time speak Russian to learn something about situation from the Crimea, Ukraine, and so
Okay. Anyway,
also Poland is very active in Ukraine.
economically, yes, I know, and diplomatically, a lot of refugees from Ukraine went to Poland later.
Yes, they are working like a slaves in Poland.
Yes. Well, if you did not know, in Ukraine, there was a coup in 2013 by the US and the EU. There is evidence of this, a lot of evidence. You can look it up. You can just look up Nuland 5 phone call. It was basically a phone
Yes,
call
yes, yes,
between.
I know, and this coup was
Okay.
prepared in Poland because these people who came to Maidan make all these things. Many of them were trained in the Poland,
Yes,
but it was
I
financed
know.
by CIA, not by Poland. Poland, it is only the place which you prepare because all this action was very good prepared that they had it was the negotiation between the European Union and Yanukovych, and in the time when the Yanukovych understand that European Union wanted to make with Ukraine the colony of the EU, he break the negotiation, and next day there was very it was all organized in one day
Can I
in
comment on that?
yes,
He
yes,
did not break the deal with the EU. He just delayed it. That's why Euromaidan started.
yes, yes, yes. I
Yes.
don't know this detail, but you know it was not spontaneous movement that people starting to talk, organize themselves. No, everybody was prepared before, and they waiting the moment when to use it.
Yes, I think it's ridiculous to deny the coup there. You can even look up John McCain walking in, Ukraine during, that time, like as if it was normal. Um, and basically, I think that the fact that the rebels in Donbass resist this coup is very great. They are trying to not sell their country to a an undemocratically elected puppet government of another country, and they also want to join Russia, and I also support that. I believe that Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia are one nation.
Mm, I think that the okay, okay. It's complicated as a subject. This national questions. Uh, so uh, what I forget what I wanted to say. But in this all these things which you said about Belarus and about situation in Ukraine, I am agree with you. Maybe my motivation is other, but I am agree. My motivation is that because Polish government and Polish bourgeoisie and Polish bourgeois media are very implicated to make the putsch in Belarus because they are very implicated to push Ukraine against Russia and use all these things. I am against it. I am against it. I don't need to think about this because it's automatic. When the Polish government do something, I am against, and after I can try to find the argument why I am against. But I am against in the beginning, and in the beginning when Morawiecki invited Tichanowska to Warsaw and speak, we need to abolish Lukashenko. I know who is Morawiecki. I know who was the people who are in governing in Poland. What was the contribution in Poland to Polish workers? That it was a great catastrophe. It was the poverty, and I don't wish to make the same stuff to Belarus workers because the workers who are organizing strikes against Lukashenko, they don't understand that if Tichanowska became a president of Belarus, they all we became unemployed people because of
Yeah, I agree.
privatization.
Yeah. Anyway, is
Oh,
there anything else you want to discuss?
no. I think that for today it's good. Could you present one more time your channel? Why people can go to your channel? What is interesting for find them?
Well, my channel covers politics and history and stuff like that. A lot of socialist history. It covers post-Stalin USSR, China today. I cover China with Xi Jinping's literature and explain how China is revisionist that way. I also sometimes post trends. For example, I talk about what could happen in Ukraine. I talk about who's better, Biden or Trump, and stuff like that. I also talk about Stalin's USSR sometimes, and yeah.
Okay, so the link for your channel is in description box, and everybody is invited to go there, subscribe there. So, Comrade King, thank you for your time. I think that I will listen one more time the beginning of our conversation to try to find this Russian politician which you said, and maybe we will make the collaboration with them. So, thank
To
you.
jest dobrze. To jest
Dob-
dobrze.
A tak, to bardzo dobrze tak robić. No. Bardzo dobrze jest rozwijać współpracę komunistyczną, tak jak to robił Feliks Dzierżyński, właśnie wielki symbol polskiej i rosyjskiej komunistycznej współpracy.
Okay, I did not understand all of that.
А, что Феликс Дзержинский – это большой символ коммунистической сотрудничений польских и русских революционеров.
Да, я знаю.
Да, поздравляю тебя, товарищ.
Ну, как было?
Как бы, ну, я хочу сказать, до свидания, товарищ.
До свидания. Как будет до свидания на польском?
Do widzenia. Do widzenia, do zobaczenia.
До видения, до życzenia.
Do widzenia.
До везения.
Do widzenia. Okay, comrade. Thank you one more time and see you. I will